Hello, everyone. Welcome. I have a friend here today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Vio. I used to pop up on this channel from time to time, but glad to be back on here. I don't really do much on YouTube, but mm, if you want, you can check out more of Catherine stuff here. But yeah,
Very good. Well, you guys read the title of the video, so you know exactly who we're going to be talking about today. Um, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake is coming out, and it has a lot of people talking. It has a lot of people discussing what changes are going to be made to it, what upgrades are going to be made to it. Obviously, we can tell from the first trailer, it's already had a huge graphical upgrade. It looks fantastic in that department. We can already see there's new additions, such as new character models that previously weren't there. So they're definitely having fun experimenting in this style again. So that's good. That's it's looking good. Basically, it's looking good. But there's one topic in particular that everybody is talking about right now. It was the most talked about regional change between fans for many years. And with the announcement of this remake, it has many fans questioning if this means, are they going to go with the original script for a particular character, or are they going to go with what was localized before? So we're talking about Vivian. As you know, in the original Japanese script, Vivian was characterized, her personality was pretty much the same, both there and then. Not much of her dialogue was actually changed between localization. The main parts of her dialogue that were changed, though, was who she is. Basically, original dialogue, original script, Vivian was transgender. In the localized release, they removed all of those references and removed any mention of it. And this is mainly what we're here to discuss today on how we think it should be handled if they choose to use the original script and if they choose to keep the trans Vivian in. So we'll start with you, Apollo. What do you think they should do?
honestly, I feel like they should just do whatever. Like, not cater to any side. Just stick with the original script, but have it in there to have something in there to make it. It'll be up to the player's interpretation. Is she trans? Is she biologically a girl? Who knows? Who knows? Just cater towards everyone by not doing anything. I mean, that's why we had it before. When people found out there was no outrage. Hell, you got Berto, who is technically trans, but again, no one's batted an eye to what they've done to her. So, and again, I mean this, not trying to offend anyone because I know how pointed people are, and I know how people love to cherry pick things people say. I am an ally. I am an ally. I have various friends who are trans, like Catherine here,
Mm-hmm.
or who have other identities, other sexualities, identities. I excuse me, I value them and respect them and their life choices and decisions. So, with that being said, I hope that I've sounded as neutral as possible when it comes to the whole Vivian thing, because really, at the end of the day, for us that have been wanting something as close to, if not a remake for the original two Paper Mario games, or at least a game that shared the elements of those games. This may be our last chance to prove that, hey, Nintendo, we want this shit. We want these games. We want you to make these games like this again. If we don't buy this game, if we don't give it good reviews, if we don't like share that, hey, we love this game, then we may not ever see anything like it again. Despite if they make Vivian one way or the other, or they make Tech less of a pervert, or they 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 screw a part here and there. The fact that this game is coming back at all, we should be excited for it. And heck, we haven't even gotten any news for it at all. It was ever outside of the fact that we're getting this game possibly next year, and that's it. So just
Okay.
don't keep your breath.
I think this is a pretty valid take. I think what they should do, in my opinion, I actually do agree a lot of what you said. Um, so I think obviously I'm a big supporter of trans Vivian. She, you know, she was one of the things I grew up with. She was, and again, whether or not they choose to keep it in or not, I'm still going to buy the game. I'm still going to love the game. I'm still going to cherish the game. I'm still going to love Vivian the same regardless. But obviously, I do think her story would actually make a lot more sense and does make a lot more sense with the original script because a lot of her story is around identity. There's even a chapter in the game where Mario loses his identity to somebody else. Spoiler alert. I forgot to say spoiler. Spoiler alert for people who have not played this game and are about to play this game recently. Oh boy. That's your spoiler warning. That if you don't want to hear this part, there's literally a chapter in the game where Mario loses his identity, and the only way he can find his identity is by finding, what was it, a letter? What was he had to find again, Apollo? What was it, a letter? I can't remember. But her identity works in that chapter because it's somebody she can relate to because she doesn't even understand her own identity. And that, it made a lot more sense in the original script there, but it works just as good without that. And you were even making a suggestion on what they can do to the dialogue to be more flippant with it, I think is the word. Um, like with Beldam's introduction to her, the original line is, we're the three shadow sisters. And then Beldam gets mad at her for calling them sisters, responding, I see two sisters, and then there's you, and you're a man. You gave a suggestion off camera earlier on what they could do with that line. And I actually think your suggestion works good because it still keeps the same response, but it doesn't change the meaning of the scene. Do you remember that response you gave?
Mm, uh,
It's okay if you don't. I
yes,
do. But you
yeah.
essentially, said a way to keep the line the same without changing anything is instead of saying you're a man, she could say, but I don't think you are. Like I see two sisters, but I don't know about you. That could still work. And I think if they choose to be subtle with it, but choose to be subtle with it and only really mention it when it's necessary, like obviously there's multiple times in the script where Beldam refers to Vivian as her brother. There's multiple times where
Mm,
she calls him a he, multiple times. That's to be expected. Obviously, that was one of the things she had to overcome in the original game. And I think that would be good. Now, again, I still agree that regardless of which outcome happens, that we should be happy we're getting this at all. And if this sells well, we can get more of it. But I will also say, if they choose to keep it in, that will also be a bonus because we talk about representation this, representation that. This would be good representation, 100%. She's by far the most useful party member in the game, without a doubt. I mean, the moves she can learn in the game are just broken in some points. And it works. She's fun to play with. She's a fun character. She's interesting. She's unique. And I think people will like her for that aspect alone, regardless. If she's written well, if it's touched upon in the correct way, whether it be blatant or
mm,
subtle, or even both in some cases, I think that what they should do is approach it with maturity. Be mature about it. Don't make jokes about it. Maybe a joke here and there is fine, but like be mature about it. You know what you're approaching. You know the community you're about to refer to. The trans community is a lot more vocal nowadays than they used to be.
mhm, mm,
So approach it with maturity and approach it with care. Personally, if it gets in, I'm going to love it regardless. But that's just my opinion as a singular trans person. That doesn't mean that's how everyone else who's trans is going to feel about it.
right.
And like I said, I think I think if they put it in, approach it with maturity, do a mix of blatant, do a mix of making it blatant and subtle at the same time, and just be respectful. Like just because the game, even in the original script, yes, there were questionable lines of dialogue directed towards Vivian. It was 2004. It was a very different time, and the game, even in the original release, even with some questionable dialogue here and there, the game never told you to feel any different about Vivian. In fact, the game tells you to love Vivian, to accept her, to be nice to her. The game doesn't do any kind of belittling towards her at all. And I think her character is strong. So, regardless of which outcome we get, please, 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 and I'm saying this to both sides, please be civil in the comment sections. Do not go attack Nintendo. Do not go attack HAL Laboratories. Do not go attack people who are making this game. Do not attack them if the outcome that happens with this character isn't the one you wanted. And again, people can have whatever opinion they want to on this game. That's absolutely fine. I do feel the need to say to people who view trans Vivian as woke, keep one thing in mind. She was originally portrayed this way in the original script. What we got was a censored version of the script. But with that being said, and that goes double for the side that supports trans Vivian, don't go attacking the other side if they decide to keep the localization. Please be respectful. Please don't go attacking anybody. Be mature, be adults, and just support the goddamn game. It needs it. Because if they see this game sells, if this game sells, like we said earlier, this will make them want to do more Paper Mario games like this. This will make them see that this shit is still making money. This is still making us money. So we're going to make more of it. Do the right thing. Obviously, if you play the game and your takeaway is it's just not your cup of tea, that's totally fine. That is valid. That is okay. RPGs are not for everybody, but don't go attacking people who do like the game. Because this game is our childhood. So, with that being said, that's been our thoughts on this whole topic. Please, before we sign out, please keep the comment section civil, please. We are only expressing our opinions on how it should be handled if they choose to go with it. And remember, an opinion is for everyone. Everyone is allowed to have an opinion, and everyone is allowed to disagree with said opinion. Keep it civil. You want to sign out, Apollo?
Yes. One quick thing I want to say is that no matter what they do to Vivian or whoever else in the game, the game is going to be great either way. Just don't let one thing, if they include or don't include, bother you. That's why they have settings for. They probably will have settings for certain things, and who knows at this point.
Mm-hmm. This has been Kunimitsu 877 signing out.
This is Vio signing out.
Thank you for joining us, everybody, and goodbye.